Kamala Harris voters, just breathe. Just breathe. Listen, we're 56 days in. This is the 9th week of Trump. And here's the score that I don't see enough people talking about. Out of 34 rulings by federal judges from the Supreme Court, Appeals Court, Circuit Court, do you realize out of 34 rulings, we've won 33? And yes, they have been enforced. Yes, they have been backed up. What people are missing is that they're so busy focusing on the execution and not the effectiveness. Woo! Think about what I just said to you. See, it's like a fight. I know all of you have seen the Rocky fights where Rocky gets the crap beat out of him, but he keeps coming back. And it's because the punches are not effective enough to disable him. There was a real fight like that between George Foreman and Ali in the 70s. Well, George Foreman is just a powerful, big guy, 6 feet something, 200 something pounds. This guy was just ginormous, and he just pounded him. And Ali just kept coming back. What we are is Ali. What we are is Rocky. We're the ones who keep coming back, and here's why. The punches aren't effective. The execution is not effective. Do not confuse effectiveness with execution and vice versa. Because he's doing all this stuff over the last 8 weeks. But what has happened? Out of 34 rulings, we won 33. What kind of rulings? He tried to rule out birthright citizenship despite it being in the, Constitution. He tried to rule out immigration and migrants, and he ruled that out. Oh, by the way, this weekend, just side note for those of you thinking about it, well, he ignored the orders that came from the judge. The judge is asking the Trump administration to come down at 4 p.m. today and explain themselves. Oh, it is on. Let me tell you, this is not going to end well for him either. Somebody ain't explained the end game for him. Understand this. We are winning because, one, we've been winning. 25,000 jobs returned last week. Judge Alsop said, this is a sham. You ain't going to just fire people like this. You ain't going to just free. Then another judge was like, you ain't freezing up the money. You better let that money go. And then they did another rule. You better let that money go. And they did. Understand why they're complying. I don't care what Trump and Vance, spew out their mouths, or Elon, the unelected, anything, spew out their mouths. That's talk. Talking loud, saying nothing. The real talk is this. The people under the Trump administration got to follow either Trump or the federal judge. Now ask yourself this, and that comes from attorneys, law enforcement, everybody. Ask yourself this. Are you going to listen to Trump or the judge? Now, some pro-Trump people say, I'm listening to Trump. And you know what happened in the first term? Some people went to jail. Other people lost their law license. Oh, by the way, those 33 wins, one of which was the American Bar Association. They sued Trump administration, and they won. You don't want to lose your whole career behind this guy, do you? Some people do. But ask Giuliani, how's that working while he's shopping at Walmart? How's that working? It's not faring thee well. Trump has taken a lot of people down, but he still stands Teflon Don. And if you want that smoke, they gonna give it to you, the judges. People are like, well, it'll be constitutional crisis and there'll be a problem. Yeah, it'll be constitutional crisis. But guess who that's going to fall on? The Trump administration. Guess who's not going to hit? Well, at an extreme, can he be held in contempt? Yeah. Can he go to jail in an extreme version of trespassing or traitor or treason? Yes. But is that likely? No. Who's this going to fall on? Who's going to fall down? Where do the call? There's an old saying. You've heard that. If you ever worked a job, you've heard this. Rolls downward. You know what the is. Rolls downward. Okay? It rolls down. What does that mean? That means that's going to land on the cabinet heads and their staff. Bondi could lose her license. I'm counting the time. Bondi ain't going to be in there long. Pam Bondi ain't going to make it. She ain't going to make it. Elon ain't going to make it. Elon going to jail eventually. That will take years. But right now, you got 14 states suing the Trump administration to get him removed from power. And they got a good shot. They got a good shot, a really good shot. They signed an affidavit, the DOJ, saying, Elon's not head of Doge. Really? And then 2 weeks later, here's Trump at the State of the Union having him stand up, getting an ovation over being head of Doge after signing that affidavit. Some people are going to lose their jobs, their license, and possibly their freedom from this. So when you are freaking out, like, oh my God, he's done this, that's because all these blue influencers are sitting there grabbing your attention just like all legacy media does. Trump did this, it's the end of the world. And I'm telling them, like, no, it ain't. Here's the real score. Calm down, man. Here's the real score. Real score is 1. That is going to get reversed. How do we know? For the last 8 weeks, it's been getting reversed. It's like, it ain't like my imaginary, you're being optimistic. No, fuck you. It ain't no optimistic. What? Nothing. How is it optimistic? A federal judge turns it back and they actually follow what the federal judge does. Some people who are on the Trump side want to believe that. Some people who are into negativity. Some people who are into just not believing what's right in front of their face. Execution is not effectiveness. Don't believe the hype. That's the old Public Enemy. They keep talking about Fight the Power, being a classic song. One of the biggest ones by him and Flavor Flav was don't believe the hype. You listening to all of that hype. Like today, he talked about, this is the crazy thing. He believes that all of Biden's pardons are void. Little problem with that, just a little one. You can't constitutionally change a president's pardons. I wish we could, because the next president, if they're Democrat, could change his pardons and put those 1,500 insurrectionists back in jail. But they can't. It's against the law. It's against the law. You can't decide what the law is, motherfucker. You can't decide that. Well, he's usurping the Constitution. He's trying to. But I believe the judges are ready for him. How do I believe that? Just hope and wish? Fuck no. I'm trying to tell you. Man, listen. This guy is going to walk into a wall. The Fed judges, judicial branch want that smoke. JB want that smoke. Judicial branch, JB want that smoke. Don't you see it? They just, man. These are people who are deep on Constitution. You don't want to do that. We're winning. He's losing. Breathe. Know the score. Follow me for more. Get over on my YouTube, Darren Monroe Politics, too. You want to check that out. I get to say stuff on YouTube a little more than on other social medias.